Dear Frederick, really appreciate the tutorials and all the work that you do for the community, but I have a request. Could you please do a video that shows color straight out of the camera with no color correction needed? You got it. Hey guys, welcome back. You know, more and more I'm getting more requests for people wanting to know the best color settings straight out of camera because folks don't want to shoot and have to worry about doing post-color work, or they don't care to do post-color work, or they just don't have the time to. And you know what? This is a really valid question. I have a need now for quicker turnarounds myself, and I've actually adjusted my camera settings per job just in case I really need to crank something out and I just don't have the time to do post-color work. So that's what this video is about. When DJI updated the log color profile and made it better, they've also updated the color profiles, other than renaming them film A, B, C, D, but they also tweaked the color profiles, I've noticed. So I've gone back and looked at those, and I'm pretty impressed. Make no mistake, these are color profiles that have a color grade to them, you know, so they do have a look and a feel, but I really like them, and I think a lot of these are usable straight out of the camera. No color correction needed. You can go straight to digital video or a final production with a lot of these. Are really well done, tastefully done. For all the videos that you're going to see for the tests that I've shot to show you guys the color options, the subsettings, the sharpness is on -1, but contrast is still on 0 and saturation is still on 0, so it's pretty much straight out of the camera. So let's take a look and let me show you some color profiles that I think work wonderful straight out of the camera with no color correction needed. The first color profile is good old Cine D. You guys know that I really like Cine D because it's got a very neutral quality. But Cine D, with its contrast and saturation kicked up to 0 instead of the negative values that I traditionally have been using, I think Cine D's got a wonderful just starting quality that you can go in and color tweak a little bit if you want to, but you don't need to. As you can see here, this is a beautifully rendered image with plenty of vibrance. The earlier version of TrueColor was a little harsh to me. I wasn't a big fan of it, but they've tweaked this and warmed it up a bit, and you can see how deep and saturated the blues are. But it's a neutral tone that's not too heavily graded toward the warm or cool side. It's a great color profile. This looks great straight out of camera. This is Emily or Emily. Not sure how to pronounce that, but this is just an absolutely gorgeous profile. It's very warm. The white balance is really leaning toward the yellows, which is great because especially for the skies, you don't have that pinkish cast that's very common with digital cameras. This is a great look with a warm feel, with good tones, good midtones, good highlights, good shadows, and still, though the shadows are dark, they're not crushed. There's still detail left in there. Momo is kind of a brighter version of Amelia or Emily. It's a great color profile too that also leans a little bit toward the warm yellows, but there's a little bit more reds in it, so it makes it a little bit more neutral than the previous Emily profile. Lumen is a very moody cinematic profile. The white balance on this is really pushed hard toward the yellow, and the contrast is much flatter. The highlights have been taken way down while the shadows are still robust, deep, dark, and rich. Like I said, the contrast is much less, and this gives this a much more cinematic feel and a very moody shot. Agate is leaning a little bit toward the magenta. You'll notice the skies here compared to the previous ones like Emily or Amelie and Lumen. The skies have a little bit more of that magenta cast, which I don't personally prefer, but some others could feel different. But this is a great profile that looks killer straight out of camera. Jess is a beautiful color profile. This is almost a sepia tone color profile that has lots of reds with a low contrast to the shot. Notice the sky. Look at all the fine, subtle details that are left in those clouds and the contrails. This has definitely an old western kind of feel to it, or a desert kind of feel to it, straight out of the camera. Zen is beautiful. The blues in Zen are definitely punched up a little bit in saturation, while the yellows are also kept very strong, but this is a good, clean, realistic, natural looking. This looks almost closer to color corrected versus color graded, even though that blue is a little bit saturated. Agate B has a very blue cast to it, a little bit cooler color temperature than the other shots, but again, there's still good color tone. There's still good reds, there's good yellows, there's good greens and blues in the shot. This looks wonderful straight out of camera. Phantom is interesting. It's very similar to Agate B, but it has a little bit less contrast to the shot. It's a little flatter than Agate B, which makes it more cinematic looking. I'm thinking about doing some more tests with Phantom because Phantom does have a really nice flat feel, although it does have very rich and saturated colors. I think this would be great to shoot an entire project with. So those are some of the updated color profiles with the Phantom 4 Pro. And by the way, these are very similar on the Mavic Pro. The color names are the same, so I'm assuming that the colors are very, very similar. So this is great for Mavic Pro users and Phantom 4 Pro users. But any of these profiles are absolutely beautiful to use straight out of camera. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please leave comments below if you have any questions. I'll try my best to get back to everybody. And if you're new, please subscribe and give me a like if you don't mind. And hopefully I will see you guys very soon. Thanks and have a great day.